Alright fam, what's up? Welcome back. We're at Crunch again with the homie Anthony. We're gonna run the leg A. We got Smith squats today. You got leg press today as well?
Yes, sir.
Leg press. You have heel elevators.
Yeah, right after.
Right after leg press. So you're gonna pretty much die today.
Yeah.
But we're loving how the Smith squats are feeling right now. How are you feeling?
Dude, they feel good, man. I used to have like a negative view on them, you know, like there's that stigma, but you know, my mind has been changed like with how much it's actually helped my regular squat.
Yeah. That's why sometimes kind of backing off from one exercise for a little bit before going back to it, it definitely does help.
Oh yeah, it makes the movement feel like a lot better.
Yeah.
When you go back to it, you get a lot stronger at it.
Yeah, because we're gonna go back to the squats soon. We're just really milking out the most we can with the the Smith squat, the hack squat, stuff like that, you know?
Yes,
So,
sir.
fuck yeah, bro. Let's run you guys through this leg A. We'll give you some tips, some pointers, and yeah, we're gonna have fun today. Let's go. Before we get started on the leg day, we gotta warm up first, and we gotta get fluid so that squats don't feel like shit, so that we feel good through the entire exercise and the workout too. So, my first favorite one, I'm gonna give you three. My first one's gonna be ATG split squats. So, if you want to elevate your heel with the little plate, do that. But if you have squat shoes, you're good. So, just like a regular lunge, trying to get the knee in front of the toes. Keep this knee slightly above the ground. You'll get a really good stretch from the glute, really good stretch from the quad. You'll get that knee fired up. You'll get the knee stable for your squats. Same thing on the other side. I'd say do a good 5 to 8 reps on each side. You're also gonna get a good stretch in the groin here. Feels really nice. All right, so that's number one. Number two is gonna be the world's greatest. So assume the lunge position. We'll kind of slouch over to the ground. You're gonna take this arm, cross it this way before twisting the torso to this guy. Come back slowly. Do it for both sides. I'd say 6 reps each side. And then finally, get yourself a 25-pound plate or a 10-pound, whatever you feel is more comfortable. And we're gonna do some slow goblet squats here. So this is gonna help your body get used to being upright, which is gonna translate over to the Smith squat or any squat. So hold it out in front of you, big chest, break at the hips, slow eccentric, say 5-10 seconds. Hold it here for say, good 2-5 seconds. Get those ankles nice and flossed before big chest exploding up. Again, slow eccentric. Hold it here. Open up before exploding. Back up. I'd say a good 5 to 8 reps for this warm up should be ideal. All right, so why do we like the Smith squat? First and foremost, it's gonna take the stability part out of the equation so that you're in a fixed position, meaning we can take your sets closer to failure without risking any injury. Meaning we're likely going to get more out of it as opposed to a regular barbell squat where we tend to fail when we start losing that stability, when we start breaking down when it comes to technique. So Smith squat is probably one of the top tier exercises alongside the hack squat for really developing the quads and the glutes. And just like how we've been talking about when it comes to just training in general, we're controlling the weight and milking the shit out of the eccentric. So maybe 2-second eccentric on the way down, followed by maybe 1-second pause at the bottom in the deep hole before exploding back up, and doing that every single rep without technique breaking down. And that's how we'll grow. So check this out. We got 162 on the bar here. Good depth. Breaking parallel, that's what we want to see. So the goal is to obviously get as close to the ground as possible, basically thighs to calves, so that we ensure that the quads get stretched to the full potential. And we know that stretch is what causes the hypertrophy. So controlling it on the way down here, pausing there, and then going back up will lead to the growth that you want to see in the quads. Control. Let's see. They'll suck, yeah, dude. They'll suck. Just breathe, breathe. So, this is a thick one. All right, so next up we got a leg press, but we're gonna get more range of motion out of this exercise by using a mat. So, we're gonna place the mat there. So this is gonna give us far greater range of motion, thus preventing stoppage prematurely. So, we're gonna be able to get the knees very, very deep into the armpits. Let's check this out. All right, so I got first set 10 to 15. So quick pointers for the leg press. Again, we're focusing on the slow eccentric. So eccentric being the way down towards the chest. Feet are gonna be not too high so that we make it this more quad bias. We wanna bring it down. Okay, we wanna bring the feet down lower on the platform. Closer together, toes pointed outward if that's what's comfortable for you. So when we do come down, we're gonna think about driving the knees outward and into the armpits. Get really, really deep, because in that deep position is when we actually create the most muscle disruption. And guess what? That stretch right there is what actually causes the muscle growth you wanna see on the quads. I think the worst part is the feeling immediately after you finish the set. And that burning sensation you feel, the other metabolites just trying to leave that localized area. So that's your body really doing its job. That burning sensation, oh, it fucking hurts. But if you're not reaching that point, that point where it starts to burn, and that point where you hate your fucking life, then you're not training hard enough and you're not making the most out of the gym. A little slower on the way down. A little slower. There you go. Good stuff. Slow. There you go. Yes, sir. Woo. Next up, we got a Smith calf raise. I mean, nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy to really talk about here, other than slow eccentric on the way down, big stretch, and then explosion all the way up. And I recently saw a video on Jeff Nippard on his YouTube, and he was talking about how the evidence suggests that, or the literature is kind of conclusive in that the top part doesn't really do much hypertrophy. So like, even if you don't go all the way to the top, as long as you're doing the bottom range, so like as long as you're doing this stretch right here and say up to halfway, you're already getting the most bang for your buck. It's pretty crazy. So like, so in theory, you don't have to go all the way up. Just as long as you get that big stretch at the bottom, and then you maybe go all the way up to like halfway. It's pretty interesting. But we're full ROM guys, so we're gonna go full ROM. Finally, moving into some ab workouts. So this first one, we got a cable kneeling crunch. Notice how he's exploding on the way down, but making sure that he's emphasizing the eccentric right here, going slow, controlling it. And that's where the abdominals are really stretched out, right there. Right there, big stretch, big stretch. Good. And the reason why we're using a cable kneeling crunch is because the abs, the abdominals are just like any other muscle, the biceps, the quads, the hamstrings. We have to overload them over time. The cable kneeling crunch allows us to do that. So over time, we can increase the weight on the weight stack so that we create more resistance on those abdominals. And more resistance, more stretch, better reps, more sets, more reps over time causes them to grow. So again, don't skip your ab workouts. Don't just do them when you're dieting. You have to do them when you're in a surplus or in a maintenance phase. That's when you really have to dial in and train your abs. And then one final thing to note here, hips. His hips stay still through the entire movement. They don't move about at all. The only thing moving is his spine as he crunches down, flexing that spine. Come on, man, let's go. Good crunch. Oh yeah. All right, so we're gonna end off with some suitcase carries. So single arm suitcase carries. Why do I like this? Well, it's gonna help you engage the core. It's gonna teach you how to properly engage the core so that this translates over to, say, a bench press, a squat, a deadlift. Movements that require you to stiffen the core to help you produce more power. So the way you wanna do this is we're gonna take, say, 30, 40 steps in one direction and in the other direction. Hips are gonna be level. We're gonna take medium strides, preventing the hips from moving up and down, okay? So we're not gonna walk normally. We're gonna walk as if we were trying to keep our hips very, very parallel, okay? So it's gonna look something like this. And then you'll notice that as you're walking, if you feel your core is gonna be engaged here. And that's what we want. Remember, focus on the breathing. All right, so I'd say a good way to structure this is do 40 steps forward, 40 steps backwards. You can switch off each hand if you like, but do this for 2 or 3 sets and solid core workout. All right, Anthony, so that was our legs. A. Okay, how you feeling? How are the quads feeling?
Dude, my quads are fucking destroyed.
Dude, honestly, I felt them pumped just after one set on that Smith squat, that first workout.
Yeah, that was crazy, man. Doing high reps on the Smith squat is no fucking
It's no joke, bro. I was doing 10 to 15. And oh my God, once you got to those last few reps and you feel like those metabolites building up. Oh.
Yeah, it's really cool that like your like I guess your lower back is not like a limiting factor.
Yeah.
On the Smith squat, so you can really like, even if you don't think you got it, the Smith machine got you. You know?
Yeah, that's why I like using the Smith machine, because it takes the stability out of the equation and helps you really push to failure safely.
Yes, sir.
You know, so it's definitely an underrated equipment. A lot of people hate on it.
Oh yeah.
But it's really top tier. And Jeff Nippert, he puts it as a S category,
Yes,
above
sir.
the A+ category. I recently watched his video. But dude, fuck yeah, that was a sick workout. I want to get more YouTube videos like this. And so if you're enjoying this type of content, subscribe, like, it'd mean the world to me. And we will see you guys on the next one. Let's go.